This episode might trigger you because I'm going to be talking about this invisible rule box that you might have put yourself in. So if you're feeling stuck in any aspect of your life, whether it's relationship, money, job, consider that you might be staying in your comfort zone because of fear. So whatever you do, I'm going to invite you to give this episode your full attention. Welcome to Create Your Vibrant Life podcast, where you can create the life you desire by tapping into your inner wisdom. I'm your host, Padma Ali. I'm widely known in the field of psychology as helping create long-lasting transformation, and now I'm here to help you create the life you desire using a combination of neuropsychology and ancient healing practices. This podcast is for the lost overachiever who wants more, but without the hustle. I'm here to guide you through a process of self-discovery to be the creator of your destiny. You can have that fulfilling career, that relationship, the abundance that you so desire, all by taking aligned actions, simply by tapping into the power of the brain, your inner wisdom, and ancient practices. I will help you realize that your vibrant life can be created by inner wisdom, self-discovery, and stillness, and not by hustle. So tune in, folks. I am delighted that you're here. Welcome to episode number 25 of Create Your Vibrant Life podcast. This is your host, Padma. If you get triggered as you listen to today's episode, let me just start by saying it's actually a good thing. Because have you fully considered that triggers often just reveal the shadows that are holding us back? Think about it. If there are no buttons inside you, would anything get pushed? Most likely not, wouldn't it? I am of the mindset that triggers are a good thing. It just reveals to us what needs to be shed, what layers to be peeled off so that you can live the life of freedom. You can break out of that box. So let's talk about today's episode. Is fear keeping you stuck in your comfort zone? Now, you may or may not have already heard this quote. Magic happens outside your comfort zone. And it does, doesn't it? You know, the inspiration for this episode comes from my work with my clients and my own personal life reflection. As you may already know, I work with evolved, high-level, high-functioning executives and leaders who are also pretty spiritually attuned. Now, what I have observed is that often these folks are not scared of stepping outside their comfort zone. I mean, think about it, right? If you think about people like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Arianna Huffington, you know that they didn't get to where they are today by just sitting inside their little cocoon. They didn't necessarily conform to what's possible or not. They just did it, didn't they? They just go do things and they get the results. However, I have noticed this with some of my clients, actually people in general, including me. You know, we tend to hold ourselves back in certain areas of our lives, certain specific areas that are probably very specific to just you because, can you take a guess? Rules that often lead to beliefs. You may have already seen this in your own life, where you're blindly or unconsciously following rules. These rules keep us very safe, don't they? You know, rules like, I don't really like this job, but it's COVID time. I can't apply anywhere, so I'm just going to be here. I'm just going to stay here. Or, I can't move because my kids need to be in this particular school district. This is the best. Or, my marriage is not working, but marriages are supposed to be forever, so I'm going to just stay in this and just be, even though I'm not happy Or listen to this one. You may relate to this one. I need to get that particular certification. I need to get that I have to do that one course, that one degree, and that's what's going to catapult my career forward. Or this one is another good one. As long as I have a job, my financial security is safe. I can't afford that. Oh my goodness, the list can go on and on and on, can it not? I get it. I really get it. I really can relate to this from my past life. And I've seen clients who've kept themselves stuck, and they don't even know they're keeping themselves stuck because of these rules. Have you fully considered that the biggest cause of your suffering is all the rules you've set for yourself? Now, have you even asked yourself, how come I'm following these rules? How come I'm just boxing myself in? Do you even know where these rules came from? Maybe you've already guessed, like family, culture, society. It's almost like the moment you're born, someone opens up your brain and then dumps all their opinions and thoughts onto you, right? I mean, we all have had that. Even your name is not chosen by you. Have you considered that? And yeah, if you really think about it, everything that we know comes from what is being told to us, isn't it? And some of these rules are so outdated, but we follow them as though our life depends on them. Now, the way I think about rules is there are societal rules and inner rules that we place on our own selves. And I'm just going to focus on inner rules in this episode. Societal rules are too big to talk about. I'm not even going to open that can of worms, like hint, hint, religion, politics. They're all based on rules, aren't they? And rules that we don't even ask ourselves, are these rules working or not? We just go do them because that's what we think we're supposed to do. So I'm going to break this apart, especially the inner rules that we place on ourselves. I'm going to start with asking you this question. Where are you feeling most stuck in your life? Which specific area of your life are you feeling really stuck? Or maybe not really stuck, but this is not working for me, but you haven't really done much about it. And that will give you some clues about which rules you may be subscribing to consciously or unconsciously. Now, as you continue listening to this episode, you will soon discover that rules often become beliefs, don't they? And then they become norm in our mind. I was talking to a friend of mine a while ago, and she was very hesitant. This was long before COVID. She was hesitant to tell her in-laws that she didn't want to go to a family wedding for reasons I'm not going to get into here, but she didn't want to go to the wedding. She said it would cause drama and then it would not be socially acceptable not to attend her own brother-in-law's wedding. And I asked her, this is what I asked her, I'm going to ask you too, if you are hesitant in doing something because of the judgment of others or something else happening, something in air quotes bad happening. I asked her if she was willing to throw herself under the bus in order to do what was expected of her. Those are just rules, isn't it? And then, secondly, who decided it would be unacceptable for her to not go to a wedding that she didn't want to go to? Again, there were reasons. I'm not going to go into that, but she didn't want to go, and that is good enough reason, isn't it? Now, can you see how these rules can cause suffering? So this is the first takeaway for you. Is this rule working for me? This rule that I have created, this belief that I have, is this working for me? What do I really want? That's your first takeaway. So bring out your journal and just write down that question, will you? Now, once you've done that, as you're doing that, let me talk about another very common rule, marriage. I chuckle because there are so many rules around around being married. Oh my goodness. Like, oh, you're supposed to be married by this age. If you're not married by now, then something is wrong. Oh my goodness. And then if you are married, and there's just so many rules, so many rules. Now, so many people believe that you get married once and you have just one partner, you just have one soulmate. And there's so much judgment around divorce or idealization of staying married or long-term marriage. Oh my goodness, there's so many rules and beliefs. Now, have you fully realized that these are rules that modern civilization has set? These are rules that were created probably eons ago for conforming certain things in society, right? Maybe the cavemen decided like, oh, we need certain rules so that I was going to say something really crude, but I am not going to say that. You can infer that for your own self. So, as I was doing research on this, I didn't realize, and you may already know this, that polyandry is still practiced in certain parts of the world. Polyandry is where a woman can have more than one husband and they all live together. And it's still practiced in certain remote villages in Nepal and the Himalayas, and it's still in practice. Now, the Western society can put a lot of judgment on that, but hey, it works for them. Who are we to place any judgment? And this is what I'm saying. Even that may be a rule, but like these are rules that we have randomly set. Now, look, okay, let's take a back step. As I'm talking about this, I realize that you might be thinking, oh, she's saying go get a divorce or have an affair. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's absolutely not, I don't have any, I'm not, oh my goodness, I can't even speak. All right. All I'm inviting you to do, especially if you're struggling with your relationship, is what's causing you to not do anything, or what's causing you to just stay stuck and complain about why your relationship is not working. When I used to do couples therapy, one of the common reasons couples would tell me that they were staying together is because of the kids. And I would call them on it. They were just hiding behind an excuse or a self-inflicted rule that kept them stuck in their comfort zone, right? And some couples are not, marriages, okay, whatever belief you have of marriage is totally fine. I am just inviting you to think about, is that rule working for you or not? I am not advocating divorce. I'm not advocating anything. I am just advocating looking at whatever rules you've set. Are they working for you or not? Are you sticking with something because of fear of the unknown? Are you sticking with fear of judgment? Are you sticking with whatever is happening in your relationship because of fear of judgment? Goodness, I can't speak today. What's up with that? When you ponder this, what you will start to realize is that it's nothing but fear. Anytime you've told yourself, oh, this is going to take this long. Oh, I can't do this. This is not possible. That can't happen. You know that it's fear that's keeping you stuck, isn't it? Sooner or later, you will discover that magic happens outside the comfort zone. You will discover that the moment you step outside the box. Now, I'm going to share a personal story with you. You may or may not have already seen that if you're following me on social media, that my husband and I celebrated our 21st wedding anniversary. Yeah, it's been 22 years since we've been together, but 21st wedding anniversary, and our relationship is at its best right now. Because, you know why? I'm going to give you a little secret on why it's so good right now at this point, even after 21 years. It's because we refuse to stay in our comfort zone. Refuse. Neither of us conform to any rules that we, or what it is there. Okay, let me explain. I'm totally at loss of words today. Goodness, what's going on today? I don't know. Maybe it's the full moon. Oh. It is the full moon as I'm recording this, by the way. So it must be that. I can't even construct a proper sentence today. Anyways, thank you for bearing with me. And as you can see, this podcast is not very widely edited because you get the full of me. This is what you get. Anyways, the story I was telling you about my life is that 12 years ago, I decided that our marriage wasn't working for me. I wanted to not be in it anymore. I'm not going to go into the reasons. It was very painful. And because we were very good together on paper. You know, I've shared this in other episodes. Our friends would be like, wow, like if you guys are not going to be together, something is really, I don't have any hope for our relationship, because it was that good on paper, but something wasn't working for me. And I come from a culture where divorce is like, whoa, not at all acceptable. Not only that, we had defied all odds by even getting married in the first place, coming from different religious backgrounds, which neither of us subscribe to. As you get to see me in these episodes, you'll start to notice that there's a rebel in me. There was like nothing wrong with our marriage, but we were really good friends, but I wanted more. And as we talked through that, we both decided that this was not working for either of us. So we separated. And when we separated, we did a ton of work on our own selves. We didn't have kids. There was nothing that needed to bring us together. We still stayed in touch because we were doggy parents back then. And we were doing our own work for a full year. Personal development, coaching, therapy. We were really invested in our own selves. It was not easy, by the way. Not easy. Not very, very painful. And a year later, we had even filed for divorce. It's really funny. I mean, when we think about it, we decided to give it a go again because we saw something had shifted in both of us on our own, within our own selves. And that's what has caused so much magic in our relationship at this point, because we were not scared to walk off the beaten path. Like we were not willing to compromise on our happiness because of some rules. We decided not to stay in our comfort zone, not stay in fear. And that's what has opened up so many doors. As you can see, it's probably pretty obvious you're realizing that fear is often disguised in the form of rules, and that keeps us stuck and in that box, in that shackle of prison. I mean, feeling imprisoned in our own lives, doesn't it? Now, these are limitations that the brain has created to keep you safe. And that's its job. It wants to keep you safe. And it's up to you to say, it's okay, I am safe no matter what, and I'm going to do this anyways. Has there ever been a time where you felt terribly scared of making that move, but you knew that doing that would give you freedom, and you did it anyways? And the outcome was amazing, right? That's what I'm inviting you to start thinking about. Where in your life did you already do that? And how did you do it? What allowed you to do that? And that's going to give you some cues in case you're feeling stuck in your own life right now. I don't know if you've read this book. You may have already read it. It's pretty popular. It's called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. The author is Vishen, I think it's Lakiani, if I'm spelling it correctly. I think that's his last name. He's the founder of Mind Valley. And in that book, he calls rules, he calls them, okay, if you have kids, have them close their ears. He calls them bullshit rules. Brules is what he calls them. And it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing when you if you have a chance, read that book. I really recommend it, because he makes you question every rule that you might conform to. Why do you do that? Who asked you? Who's asking you to do that? How do you know it's what you need to be doing? It's really interesting. The important question is, if something is not working for you, why are you still sticking with it? That's my question to you. And where will you be 6 months from now, a year from now, if you continue to follow rules that don't work for you? Let me tell you, 6 months from now, if you don't do anything, you'll be still stuck in that loveless, sexless marriage, miserable, angry, frustrated, or you'll be still stuck in that job that gives you no pleasure, waiting for that outcome, waiting for COVID to be over so something will change. You'll just continue to be annoyed, and you would lose not only time, but also money and resources and peace of mind and health. So it's a choice. Now imagine breaking those shackles, breaking those rules. And yes, it may or may not be painful for a bit, but you will work through that. Think about every hard things in your life. Haven't you overcome it? Remember, the only way out is through the darkness, through the tunnel. When you come out on the other side and you can breathe and you can then design a life that you want. Imagine that, designing a life that you want, creating your vibrant life. This is the main inspiration for this podcast, because you can create your vibrant life. You can have the life you want. And if you don't have the life you want, you need to look inside. That's the bottom line. I'm calling it for what it is. Now, you may already have noticed that trendsetters never follow rules, do they? Richard Branson, Elon Musk, Katharine Graham. Am I saying her name right? I don't know. She was America's first woman Fortune 500 CEO. I mean, think about these people. Mary Kay, Harriet Tubman. If you want to go further back, they were all trendsetters, and they did not follow rules that the society placed. Now, some of you might be asking, how do I break out of this inner prison I've kept myself in? Now, when you can truly lean into what I'm going to share with you, it is going to be a life changer. So what I'm going to share with you is how I make decisions and how I coach my clients to make decisions. Are you ready? It's wisdom. It's inner wisdom. It's tapping into consciousness, universal wisdom. And when you let go of old patterns and beliefs and bullshit rules, it opens up a clear channel to inner and outer wisdom, doesn't it? And when you can access inner and outer wisdom, it will allow you to take aligned actions. And you may have already seen the results of taking aligned actions in your own life, where it leads to powerful results, doesn't it? Maybe you made a decision when you knew that the path may or may not be easy, but you did it anyways because you felt guided to. Maybe you left a job when you didn't have a backup. Recently I let go of my entire team because we were not in alignment. They kept my business running, and I'm very grateful for them, but it was just not feeling in alignment. I knew that something had to shift. I had no backup. I am a visionary like you all, and so details are not my thing. I get lost in details. And when there's too many details in front of me, I am like, I can't do this. And running a business requires a lot of attention to detail, doesn't it? And hiring takes time, and for a while I had to be without anybody, and that's okay. Even editing this podcast and getting this podcast going, like I had to figure it out. And it's all okay, isn't it, in the long run? Following that inner guidance, doing it despite of fear is what I'm talking about. One of my clients made the decision to say goodbye to a very cushy job because she wanted more. She didn't have a backup. She just like, you know what? I'm just going to end this job and just go pursue my dreams. And you know why following your inner guidance works? It does two things when you take actions from an aligned place. It signals to the universe that you're ready. And so it opens up amazing doors from the universe. And secondly, it opens up space for new things to come. In the law of attraction world, You'll often hear things like, if you're ready to manifest your dream relationship, make space in your closet. Or if you want to attract more money, clean up your wallet. Why do they say these things? Because when you do that, it's literally like making space for what you want to come in. And here's the important piece. You do these things even when there is no sign of it on the outside. Even when you have no confirmation that what you want will happen, you do this anyways. When I let go of my team, here's the funny piece. It's not funny. It's funny, but not funny. My business actually took off even more. Not that my team was holding me back. No. But my energy was held back for whatever reason. It was not about them at all. It's a nobody but me. And, when I think back on my marriage or my relationship with my husband, it was just, by the way, guys, like, he's so freaking awesome. I'm so much more, this is TMI, but like, we're so much more in love with each other now than when we first started 22 years ago. We've come a long way. I'm so grateful for this journey. But when we decided to part ways, over a decade ago, it opened up doors for us to connect differently because we were breaking old patterns. When you do things outside your comfort zone, magic happens. Can you see how powerful this is? Let go of your beliefs, let go of your fears, and take aligned actions. These are two of my 3 core pillars of the work I do, right? The beliefs, which is nothing but neuropsychology, and wisdom. These are 2 of my main pillars that I teach my clients. And this is what gives them powerful results. So as I close this, I'm going to leave you with this. What will you choose? Staying stuck in rules created in your mind that make you unhappy, or actually step outside your comfort zone and go after what you truly desire? If I take a guess, what you truly desire is not really the job or the relationship or money or anything. That's all on the surface. But what does it give you? What is it giving you on the inside? It's giving you joy. It's giving you happiness, isn't it? Like, that's what you're going after. It's giving you contentment. It's giving you a sense of like accomplishment. It's giving you a sense of, I can do this. That's what you're going after. Right? And so when you step outside the comfort zone, you're already connected with that outcome. So that's all I got for you folks today. What I am going to invite you to do is, I would love to hear what your takeaways were from this very powerful episode. I know this is powerful because it's changed my life. It's changed so many of my clients' life. I mean, in ways that are unbelievable when you stop acting from rules that are placed on you or the rules you've placed on yourself. And let me tell you, when you do that, your life will change because you're going after what you want. And I know you can have what you want. So share with me via social media channels, especially on Instagram. Just tag me in your stories and share with me where you're listening this from and what your takeaway was and what you like about this. And then also, if you have specific questions you would like me to address in this episode and in the podcast episodes, please email support@padmaali.com. I would love to feature your questions. And lastly, if these episodes are speaking to you, please leave a review and share with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so that you won't miss a single episode, because I know that the content I bring you is very, very valuable. I know it can transform your life. And I know that you're probably also the type of person who wants to help others. So please share, and you leaving a review is going to help others find it as well. So thank you so much for tuning in and listening and being a part of this. I'm so grateful to serve you. I'm so grateful that you're here. Take care. Bye.